Section 18 of John G. Paton, Missionary to the New Hebrides, an Autobiography, First Part, by John Paton. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Appendix. Appendix A. The Prayer of the Tannees Who Love the Word of Jehovah to the Great Chief of Sydney. Written at the urgent request and dictation of the missionaries' friends on Tanna to be presented to the Governor of New South Wales. Literally translated by me, John G. Paton. To the Chief of Sydney, the servant of Queen Victoria of Britannia, saying, We great men of Tanna dwell in a dark land. Our people are very dark-hearted. They know nothing good. Missy Paton the man, Missy Mathieson the man, and Missy Mathieson the woman have dwelt here 4 years, to teach us the worship of Jehovah. Their conduct has been straight and very good. Therefore we love these 3 missionaries and the worship of Jehovah which they 3 have taught us, the Tannees. Alas! A part, as it were, only 3 of our chiefs, whose names are Nauka, Miyaki, and Kadewik, besides Ringian, Enukarupi, Attika, and Namaka. They and their people hate the worship and all good conduct like that which the word of Jehovah teaches, and the people of all lands. These men all belong to 4 villages only. They have stolen all Missy's property. They have broken into his house. They have cut down his bananas. They have scolded and persecuted him, and they desire to kill Missy and to eat him, so that they may destroy the worship of God from the land of Tanna. We hate exceedingly their bad conduct, and pray you, the great Chief of Sydney, to punish these dark Tannees who have persecuted Missy, who have deceived Missy, who have altogether deceived the great Chief, Commodore Seymour, and the Chief, Captain Hume, of the men of war, and who deceived the Chief and the missionaries in the John Williams, who murdered one of Missy Paton's and Neatiami's teachers, who fought Missy Turner and Missy Nisbet, who killed Vasa and his Samoan people, who killed the foreigners, who have now fought and driven away our 3 missionaries. Their conduct has been exceedingly bad. They destroy the kingdom of Tanna, kill the people and eat them, and are guilty of bad conduct every day. Our hearts hate their bad conduct. We are pained by it. Therefore we earnestly pray you, the Chief of Sydney, to send quickly a man of war to punish them, and to revenge all their bad conduct towards Missy. Then truly we will rejoice. Then it will be good and safe for the 3 missionaries to dwell here, and to teach us, men of the devil. Our hearts are very dark. We know nothing. We are just like pigs. Therefore it is good for Missy to teach us the word and the worship of Jehovah the great King. Long ago he was unknown here. Missy brought his knowledge to us. Our love to you, the great Chief of Sydney, the servant of Queen Victoria, and we earnestly pray you to protect us and to protect our missionaries in the worship of God in our land, the land of Tanna. We weep for our missionaries. They 3 gave us medicine in our sickness and clothing for our bodies, taught us what is good conduct, and taught us the way to heaven. Of all these things long ago we had no knowledge whatever. Therefore we weep, and our hearts cling to these 3, our missionaries. If they 3 are not here, who will teach us the way to heaven? Who will prevent our bad conduct? Who will protect us from the bad conduct of foreigners? And who will love us and teach us all good things? Oh, compassionate us, Chief of Sydney. Hold fast these 3, our missionaries, and give them back to us, and we will love you and your people. You and your people know the word of Jehovah. You are going on the path to heaven. You all love the word of Jehovah. Oh, look in mercy on us, dark-hearted men going to the bad land, to the great eternal fire, just like our fathers who are dead. May Jehovah make your heart and the hearts of your people sweet towards us, to compassionate us, and to look in mercy on our dark land. And we will pray Jehovah to make you good and give you a rich reward. The names of us, the chiefs of Tanna, who worship toward Jehovah. Yarisi, X his mark. Ruawa, X his mark. Kapuka, X his mark. Taura, X his mark. Faimungo, X his mark. Manuman, X his mark. Nuada, X his mark. Nebusak, X his mark. Kawa, X his mark. Nowar, X his mark. Appendix B. Notes on the New Hebrides by the editor. The South Seas, so named by Vasco Nunez de Balboa, who in 1513 first saw the ocean on the other side of Darien, and marched into it as far as he durst, waving his sword and taking possession of it in name of his master the King of Spain. The Pacific Ocean, so named by Ferdinand Magellan, who in 1521 sailed westwards in his Victory 7,000 miles and found the sea exceptionally peaceful, for that trip at least. The New Hebrides, so named by Captain Cook, who in 1773 first fully explored and described the whole of the group. As far back, however, as 1606, Captain Pedro Fernandez de Quiros had landed on the largest and most northerly island of the group. He at once fancied it to be the great southern continent, deemed to be essential to balance the great continents of the north, and eagerly looked for both by sailors and men of science. He named the bay Vera Cruz, the river that flowed into it Jordan, and the city which he founded there New Jerusalem. The land itself he called by the preposterous designation of Tierra Australis del Espiritu Santo. In 1768, a French explorer, Bougainville, sailed round Santo, discovering that it was but an island, and through the straits that still bear his name, whereon, finding many islands all around, he rebaptized them l'Archipel des Grandes Cyclades. But Cook, being the first who sailed in and out amongst all the group, and put on record the most faithful descriptions and details, which to this hour remain generally authoritative, considered himself entitled to name them the New Hebrides, and history since has been well pleased to adopt his views, seeing, doubtless, the geographical analogy betwixt the multitudinous scattered islands and islets of the Old Hebrides and those of the New. From Santo in the north to Aniatium in the south, a distance of about 400 miles, there are scattered over the ocean 30 islands, 20 being well inhabited, and 11 of them being of considerable size, from Aniatium, which is 40 miles in circumference, to Santo, which measures 70 miles by 40. The islands lie 1,000 miles to the north of New Zealand, 1,400 miles northeast from Sydney, 400 miles west of Fiji, and 200 east of New Caledonia. The population is now estimated at 70,000, but in the early days of missions, before traders and Kanaka collectors and the new epidemics of civilization had decimated them, their numbers were certainly 3 times greater. The general appearance of the islands is that of a range of mountains bursting up out of the sea, clothed with forests and severed from each other by deep valleys, through which the tides now flow. They are all volcanic in origin, but the lava has poured itself out over a bed of coral, and the mountains have reared themselves up on a coral base. The fires are still active on Tanna, Ambrim, and Polivi, the volcano on Tanna being now, as in the days of Cook, a pillar of cloud by day and a fire by night, a far-shining lighthouse for the sailor, kindled by the finger of God himself. The climate is moist and humid, with a thermometer seldom below 60 degrees and seldom above 90 degrees in the shade. Their winter is called the rainy season, and their vegetation is tropical in its luxuriance. On one island may be found 100 varieties of ferns alone. The damara or kauri pine, so prized in New Zealand, grows there, as also the breadfruit tree, the banana, the Papua apple, the chestnut, and above all the coconut, which for refreshing drink competes with the vine of other lands, and for varied uses and services to man almost rivals the very palm tree of Palestine. The sandalwood, for its sacred odors and idle incense, has been almost swept entirely away, as much as 70,000 pounds worth being carried off from Eromanga alone. Among native foods, the yam and the taro hold the foremost place, not inferior to our finest potatoes. Besides the banana, the sugar-cane, the breadfruit, and the coconut, which flourish to perfection, their arrowroot is in some respects the finest in the world, and is kept only for special uses as yet, but may develop into a great and valuable industry, as commerce opens up her markets and stretches out her hands. The English cabbage has been introduced and grows well, also the planting of cotton and of coffee. The scarcity of animals is marvelous. The pig, the dog, and the rat are their only 4-footed creatures, and some affirm that the rat is the only indigenous quadruped in all the New Hebrides. Lizards and snakes abound, but are declared not to be poisonous. There are many small and beautiful pigeons, also wild ducks and turkeys, besides multitudes of ordinary fowls. Goats have now been largely introduced, as well as sheep and various European animals. Fish, of course, swarm in millions around the shores, and a whaling station on Aniatium sent into the market 2,000 pounds worth of oil in a year. The natives are practically quite naked, till induced by the missionary to wear a shirt, the first sign of renouncing heathenism and inclining towards Christianity. They are cannibals of a very pronounced type, and savages without any traces of civilization, except those connected with war, without a literature and almost without a religion, except only the dread of evil spirits, the worship of ancestors, and the lowest forms of fetishism, trees, stones, etc. They are partly Malay and partly Papuan, a mixture of Ham and of Shem, some with hair crisp and woolly, stuck full of feathers and shells, others with hair long and wavy, twisted into as many as 700 separate whipcords on a single head, and taking 5 years to finish the job. Their bows and arrows, tomahawks, clubs, and spears are sometimes elaborately carved and adorned, and they can twist and weave grasses and fibers into wondrously beautiful mats, bags, and girdles. They make bracelets out of shells, sliced and carved in marvelous ways, as also earrings and nose rings, and in many similar methods they show some savage sense of beauty. Polygamy, with all its accompanying cruelties and degradations, universally prevails. Infanticide is systematically practiced, and even the dispatch of parents when they grow old and helpless. Widows are put to death on almost every island to bear their husbands' company into the spirit world. There is not an unmentionable vice hinted at in Romans 1 which is not unblushingly practiced on those islands, wheresoever the gospel has not dawned. For the best published information on all these subjects, consult the work by Dr. John Inglis, in the New Hebrides, Nelson and Sons, 1887, Reminiscences of Noble Missionary Service for 3 and 30 years. End of section 18, read by Alethea Karras. End of John G. Paton, Missionary to the New Hebrides, an Autobiography, first part, by John Paton.